Who should pay for dates? Huh? Who should pay for dates? It's really funny how that question still seems to be such a problem today. I thought we were an evolving society with relationship equality, but yet people are still struggling with this question. Maybe it's because people are afraid to admit what they actually want. So who should pay? Who should pay for dates? And that's just it. There's no dating constitution that says men need to pay, women need to pay, both parties need to equally pay. I think the biggest questions to ask yourself is, what do you want? What are you willing to tolerate and not tolerate? Because at the end of the day, dating is about compatibility. And if you're not on the same page with someone, it's kind of an indication as to whether you should continue dating that person or not. As much as the whole paying for dates can seem blown out of proportion and superficial, there's plenty of other relationship factors that we can say are superficial. So we could play that game all day, but I'm not going to. I, for one, was somebody who is old-fashioned and more traditional. And luckily, I found somebody who was the same as me, and my husband prides in paying for dates. He prides in taking a woman out on a date and initiating, executing, and finishing, meaning paying. That doesn't mean that he wasn't opposed to a woman offering to pay, but he generally insisted on paying. He willingly takes the responsibility to be the one to pay, regardless. That is somebody that I was looking for. Now, that doesn't mean that I didn't initiate paying and that I didn't actually treat my husband to dates. But if you're a woman who prides and desires a man who willingly wants to pay for a date, you are entitled to that. And the same for the dude who doesn't want the expectation to fall on them. You are entitled to that as well. But you're not going to know that if you're not talking about it. And I think that's just what's missing, is people are not being forthright and open with their dating expectations. This is something that needs to be talked about and normalized very early on in dating, prior to going on a date or during the date, before the check comes to the table. Now, a lot of people are going to say, there's just no right time to talk about something like this. How do you bring up this conversation while you're on a date? And to be honest, that's the problem too, is people are afraid of others' reactions to their needs and their wants. Your expectations are important, because if you date outside of your means, and this includes financially, that's going to lead to other problems down the road. Because one, money is one of the biggest threats when it comes to relationships. So if you're struggling with this whole who should pay for a date thing now, try to imagine down the road when you move in with someone, you are conjoining your lives financially or managing, your lives financially together as a team. Struggling with this now, you're going to struggle with that later. So it just needs to be transparent. It needs to be part of the normal conversation that you have while you're getting to know this person prior to your date or during your first date. When the check comes, it's the perfect opportunity to say, so what's your take on this? Do you prefer to pay? Do you like it when a woman takes initiative and pays? What's your style? I was fairly open with guys from the very beginning that I was more old-fashioned. And a lot of people, when they hear that word, they're like, ooh, old-fashioned. Oh, she expects the guy to pay. Look, it is what it is. I find it sexy when a guy pays. It doesn't mean I won't offer, and it doesn't mean that I won't pay for dates, but I prefer a man who takes the lead, and I make that very clear early on, because I don't want to waste my time and I don't want to waste that person's time. I was told time and time again that, it's going to be hard to find somebody who believes in old school dating. And for me, I didn't have that problem. I didn't have that problem because I didn't hold back, but I also was able to reflect a little bit on my personal expectations with dating, and I didn't set the bar so high that it was unreachable, while I also didn't set it way too low for myself, because I knew my worth. But the biggest key here is it's not about what everybody else is doing. It's not about what society tells you to do. It's about what you want. And it's about going after it and finding it because it's out there. And there's so many other factors when it comes to the who should pay for a date debacle. I mean, we're talking down to dating within your means, financially, meaning frugality, and the frequency of dates, because people now are not dating the same way as they were 10 years ago. When I went on one date a week, people are now going on 2, 3, 4+ dates a week, or spending entire weekends together. The frequency of dates and the amount of dollars being spent on dates very early on, it's a factor as to why the whole paying for dates thing is such a problem, because people are trying to find that balance somewhere, and some people are on one extreme and then they're on the other extreme. Ultimately, go for what you want. So if you want more of my in-depth take on paying for dates and who should pay for dates, you can check out my blog post on that, and I will leave the link in the description. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys later.